Welcome to ABA 10 Talk, a rapid-fire conversation with members of American Business Associates. I'm Ellen Volpe, and my guest today is Michael McClernon. Mike, thanks for coming today.
Thank you, Ellen.
I'm really fascinated by the work that you do. I have personally benefited by it, and I would like you to take a moment to tell people what assisted living locators is about.
Thanks, Ellen. So assisted living locators help seniors and families select the most appropriate fit for assisted living, memory care, or independent living on Long Island. On Long Island, there are about 90 different communities. So as you can imagine, they have different capabilities. And importantly, they have different care levels, and they have different future care levels for seniors. So we help people find the most appropriate fit.
I remember when I first met you, I had a family member needing immediate care. And I was just so impressed with your ability to sort of figure out what those needs were, what the finances were, and to actually find the right place, which was the right fit. And he's still there. I think it's been 4 years or something, which is
a long time.
It is a long time. Yeah. I wondered statistically how long people actually stay in an assisted living facility without, needing, as you said, additional care and maybe an upgrade in terms
of... A typical stay is 2.5 years, and it would depend on a number of factors. Their underlying disease state, their progression in their disease state, the care they need. We try to place people appropriately for 18 to 24 months. Sometimes if you say, I'm going to pick a place that works for the rest of this person's life, you end up overplacing them. You put them in a place that just has a lot of people who aren't at the same activity level. But we think forward 18 to 24 months. I use my background in medical sales and medical sales management and all the training that Johnson & Johnson gave me to pick a place that is going to match the disease progression of the person. And after 18 to 24 months, we evaluate, and sometimes the person can continue to stay there. But that's our goal, is to find a place that is going to work for a couple of years.
Yeah, there are a few facilities on Long Island I know that you can age in place in, where you can come in at one level and as you need more and more care. Obviously, those must come with a higher price than, for example, where my person is. It's something, again, that progression, I think, is something that you can't anticipate.
There are 2 levels of licensure for assisted living in New York State and on Long Island, of course. There's basic assisted living and enhanced assisted living. And a person who's in an enhanced community can typically stay there until hospice, until they pass. So they typically would not need to go to a long-term care facility, what we used to call a nursing home. Right.
In your world, I know that you came out of business. Yeah. What attracted you to come into this particular field?
Well, there's the personal and the business. So on a personal basis, my mother had Parkinson's, and she started to develop dementia. She set the house on fire a couple of times.
Oh, wow.
Doing laundry in the oven. And the fireman said, you have to move, you have to place her. And they gave us the doctors and the whole medical establishment said, has to be done this week.
Oh,
we had no support, no help, so we just picked a place. And it turned out to be, okay, not great. And I sort of filed that away, and I said, gosh, maybe someday I can help a family member, a neighbor, just make a slower, more discerning decision, not knowing that this trade, placement agent trade, even existed.
Right.
So I filed that away. I thought that would be a good thing to help with at some point. My corporate career, which started in medical sales, medical sales management, and then evolved into technology, my corporate career sort of wound down at age 60. And I had plenty of energy left. I needed something to do. So I started looking around, and I found through a franchise broker that placement was a thing. There are 30,000 placement agents nationwide.
Really?
No one knows that.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
You don't know it until you need it, right?
Right.
So I found this world, took the training, bought the franchise, and this is my 6th year of doing this work.
Wow, that's amazing. That really is interesting. How does it actually work if a family comes to you? What is the process like?
So we talk about the family's goals, and we talk about the senior's goals. And sometimes they're perfectly aligned, and sometimes the family and the senior really want different things. So we talk about what the underlying disease state is. We talk about the finances, sometimes in great detail. Talk about the care needs, the location. So there's 5 or 6 factors that play in. Once we've determined just what's going on with the family and the senior and what's likely to happen to the senior in the next 2 years from a health standpoint, from a care standpoint, then I schedule 3 or 4 tours. And I go out with the family and we see places and we both learn on those tours. You know, they're both opportunities for us to challenge our assumptions, my assumptions, the family's assumptions, and by the end of the 4th tour, we usually have it sussed out. We have it figured out, and then we sometimes need to go back and say, now we've learned the most important factor is X. Let's go find, X, or we saw a place that seems great.
Right. What people think they want or what they need is not necessarily what they see and experience. And so, what is the cost? How are people able to utilize your service?
So I'm free.
Oh, wow.
It's a very interesting situation. The placement business evolved with the assisted living business, which is about 30 years old. And it evolved on a variation of a real estate model. So there is a commission, and it's paid for by the community in every case. So in some cases, a family and I work together, and we don't find a place. Sometimes the person needs more advanced care. Sometimes they pass away, or they make a different decision. So in that case, there's no cost at all to the family. But if they place in a place that we worked on together, the facility pays me a fee. Yeah,
that's fantastic for the families, obviously, because it is costly.
It's a free professional advisor.
Right.
And I'm not biased because they're all engaged in contracts with me, so I can pick one versus the other and help direct the people in an appropriate way.
The actual number of facilities is, something, again, unless you are working in the field, you wouldn't necessarily know that. But are there enough beds for the aging population?
Very good question. I was just about to get to that. There are 90 facilities, perhaps 12,000 beds at different levels, but perhaps 12,000 beds. Now, this doesn't include nursing homes. It's just assisted living. However, on Long Island, there are 275,000 people who are age 75 and above. Now, our market typically is age 80, 85 and above, but still there's 275,000 people who are broadly eligible here. One building opened up this year on Long Island. It has about 65 beds. There's no other shovel in the ground, as we say. There's no building under construction, as far as I know. There's no building that they're permitting. So our 12,000 beds plus the 65 or 70 that were added recently, that's it.
Wow.
And people are getting, more, living longer. They need the service. And at least on Long Island, there won't be any capabilities. So when I first started doing this work almost 6 years ago, usually I could schedule tours anywhere knowing there would be something open. And now we have to spend a lot of time thinking about availability, thinking about room size, because there are wait lists everywhere.
Yeah, wow, that's incredible, really, when you think about the aging demographics. It's something to really consider and think about.
This area grew just after World War II. Long Island grew almost overnight. And all that whole cohort is now either past or is very old. They have the means because they own homes, so they generally have the means to afford assisted living, which is not cheap. Right. But it was a big chunk of people who all grew up together and now are aged together here on Long Island.
It is true. How would people contact you, Mike?
I think the easiest way is just to go to my website, which is assistedlivinglocatorsLongIsland.com, and my email is mike.m@assistedlivinglocators.
Yeah, that's great. One other quick question. What do you like to do in your free time?
I love playing with my dogs in the snow. So we have 2 big dogs, we have a place in the Catskills, and we love the snow.
Yeah, that's great. If you've enjoyed this conversation with Mike McClernon today and you'd like to learn more about other ABA members and watch other Tent Talks, please be sure to visit our website at abanetworking.com. Thanks for coming, Mike.
Thanks, Ellen, very much. I enjoyed it.